Good afternoon, everybody. As usual, I know people are running from one meeting to another. So we'll typically give this a few minutes for people to join us to catch up with this meeting, and then we will begin momentarily. Give it 3 minutes or so. For those just joining, like I said, we will begin momentarily. We will give it 2 more minutes, and then we will begin. We will begin in a minute. Okay, once more, good afternoon to you all. Thank you for joining us for our April monthly meeting, a bit delayed because we had to travel to Dallas last week for another conference. Significant. We had a strong St. Louis contingent in Dallas for welcoming Interactive. So a lot has been happening. We have been doing these meetings on a monthly basis. I think we're getting into well over 2 years of engagement. I'm hoping that these meetings are valuable because it gives us an opportunity to share with community stakeholders some of the things that are going on, are happening here at the International Institute, and I work in the community. And I hope that it creates an opportunity for you as community stakeholders to stay engaged, to determine how you can allocate resources to be able to support what we're doing to make St. Louis welcoming. But we'll also be taking some time, I don't know, to reach out to you all to just get your feedback on how these meetings are going, some of the things that we should be highlighting that you may want to hear more, some of the things that may not necessarily be as relevant as we think are. But we want to create an opportunity to have your feedback that will make this time that we spend together each month even more worthy for everyone, especially after doing it for some time now. The first 3 months of the year have been really, really busy for us. We see the same signs in April. We think it's just going to continue to be more busy. On the one hand, it's a good thing for St. Louis to be welcoming this number of people. On the other hand, it comes with its own the opportunity comes with challenges, challenges which we believe we can overcome as a community working together. Alone, the International Institute cannot do this. We have to rely on community stakeholders and the partners that we have been working with in the last few years. So we will be sharing some of that. The agenda for today is really going to cover an update on our arrivals, resettlement and working services, to include the other initiatives that we have, like the Afghan Community Support and the Latino Outreach Initiative. We're also going to be sharing with you some needs that we have, mindful of the significant number of arrivals that we're having coming to the community. Then I did mention the feedback survey. Casey is going to talk a little bit about how we want to capture that. We have a race for refugees coming on April 21st that we're going to be sharing updates on. Festival of Nations is being queued up. We have some developments to share with you and some other updates, the community shout outs and welcome call. So that's, and obviously as we will save time for question and answers, so please feel free to raise questions if and when needed. With that in mind, I would proceed to start with our arrivals. Now turn this over to the Director of Resettlement, Asmira.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. We have been, I don't want to say busy. It is time of challenges for us because we are resettling so many refugees this year or fiscal year. As you can see, in March, we did resettle 143 individuals. It is 47 cases, and March has been busiest month until now. So we did resettle many people from Zambia, Nigeria, Sudan, South Sudan, Somalia. You can see all those countries where they're coming from. Same like happening in April. Projection is like 47 cases until now and 94 individuals. 5 minutes ago, when I was preparing for this meeting, I just get like 4 cases from Ethiopia, Somali cases. So numbers are changing every minute. I want to let you know, like a camp in Ethiopia will be closed soon. So they want to send all refugee and close that camp. They're giving us only notification 24 hours. Same situation that we have with Afghans in the past. So they don't give us much time to prepare, but we are doing our best and trying to help client as much as we can. For our fiscal year 2004, we did agree to resettle 875 people with possibility as many as 1,000. But we are hoping and USCRI asking us to resettle more clients. So maybe we will go like 10% over and resettle 1,100 refugees this year. It means summer will be very busy. Usually summer is always busy and they want to send all those refugees before our fiscal year ends, September 30th. So as you can see, from October 1st and until now, we have 63 arrived refugees. But as I said, like 5 minutes ago, when I count, it is 701. So we already reached over half of our arrivals. Let's see what will next month give to us, because USCRI telling us like a number is changing. They like IOM, PRM also pressuring them to send refugee as many as they can. So numbers are changing. As I said, we are doing our best, what we can do, helping refugees to arrive and thrive. We do have like some medical cases, and what I noticed lately, we do have like a kids, at least 10 kids who arrived last 2 months with disabilities. So it is like a more challenges for us, but with community help and other and volunteers who are helping us, we are really doing our best and helping our refugees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Asmira, for that update on resettlement. The Asmira and the resettlement team have really stepped up to the challenge. But like I said, if we looked back to what seemed to be a crisis in 2022, when we had the Afghan arrivals, we are actually seeing a lot more arrivals at this time than we saw at the time when we had all of the community stand with us. We're hoping to be able to mobilize and have that same momentum. And obviously, in the case of the Afghans, there was the connection with the veterans, which made it even more, and the fact that they had been working with the U.S. military for over 20 years. But we, from a community standpoint and in terms of capacity, we're seeing a lot more arrivals now than then, and so the pressure, it's the same. We've just been able to build systems that can be able to handle a lot more. But it really means that more than what we can offer the community, we really need the community to step up at this time. And that's just for the refugee arrivals. We're also seeing a significant increase in walk-ins. As you can see from the numbers, we had 16 cases in February with 44 individuals. If you look at from Venezuela, Afghanistan, Haiti, and Cuba, we continue to see an increase in those arrivals. We saw that in March with 58 individuals at 29 cases. And you can see an increase in Haitian and Cuban arrivals in the month of March. So far, we're tracking April right up to the 16th, which was yesterday. We've had 11 cases with 26 individuals. So besides the refugee arrivals, we're also seeing a significant number of walk-ins that we are providing service to. And laden on that is also the Latino Outreach Initiative, as well as the Afghan Outreach Initiative. I'm going to turn this to our Vice President here at the International Institute, Carlos Ramirez, to talk about the Latino Outreach program and the arrivals we're seeing.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello to everyone. Happy to announce that we're getting some pretty good progress going here. From Chicago, we have 12 different cases, and what that means is 22 individuals and 7 of them being families. So if it's a couple or a couple with kids, those are the families, but just so you get a sense of what 7 families means, in this particular case, it's 22 individuals. And we've been able to meet with the different shelters through the mayor's office, that we've been able to get a good amount of people coming from Chicago. And then next week, we'll have 4 more cases coming in, 10 individuals, 3 families. And also through New York, we've had 9 cases, which is 27 individuals, 7 families. And because we're working with the Great Group, which is an employer here in St. Louis near the airport, and 10 partnership, all these families that have come in from New York already have jobs. And so right now we have 0 families scheduled to come next week. That's partly because they just did a job fair, and they will be getting more people that they will be moving here already with a job guaranteed. From St. Louis, we've had a couple of cases, which is 2 families, 4 individuals, and we've been able to do some good work just people coming in. And luckily, we haven't had too many people come into St. Louis directly so that we can manage any concerns about homelessness or any fallout on people seeing or thinking that we're bringing undocumented people and leaving them on the streets. So that's been good. We've been working with Boston, which has been interesting because Boston is the one that we had the most progress with early on, and for different reasons, we haven't been able to secure anybody from Boston, in spite of the fact that they have another organization here out of St. Louis that's working with us. They've actually flown me there to meet with people, and so as it just stands right now, we haven't been able to get anybody here. Most of the people in Boston, for whatever reason, are from Haiti, and I don't know if that's part of an issue or not. But the majority of the other populations we're bringing have been Venezuelans or Cubans, and we think we'll be bringing some more Haitians in as well. Next slide, Casey, please. So far for our program introduction, in addition to going to the previous cities that I've mentioned, I was able to present at the South by Southwest conference in Austin, Texas, where we were part of a whole Midwest contingent. And there were several people that were talking about what they were all doing in the Midwest to try to recruit people to the Midwest. Admittedly, my program was the only one that was really focusing on humanitarian parolees and immigrants, but all the other cities are working on recruiting people as well. I'll be going to Denver on May 1st and working with with the mayor's office as well as some shelters, whereas I think we'll also get a severe amount of people from Denver just because of the situation they're in. And I know that Array went to a conference, and it turns out that there is a community in Kansas that we would go to. And I don't have it on this slide, but there's also a lot of Haitians coming out of Ohio that have been reaching out to us because of another connection I made with another individual. And then lastly, what I want to try to do is go to Cuba probably in early June, because I had heard from a previous recording that some people end up coming from a specific country because someone from that state went to visit them in their country, told them about it, so then it became a target place for them to go to. Whereas some of these other people that are stuck at the border, they're just going to the border because that's where they know they can go. But if they know we have this program automatically in St. Louis, ideally they would come directly to St. Louis, and that could create a healthy timeline or a pipeline for us. Would you like me to cover this as well, Ray?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. And so fortunately, Moji is traveling right now. She's been traveling quite a bit this past month, within this last 30 days. And so right now she's in California. But through this year, we have 39 individuals that have arrived in 2024, coming anywhere from Rhode Island, state of Washington, California, Missouri, Pennsylvania. And I know she spent a significant amount of time in New York City and New York State in several different cities. And right now she's in California. So she's doing a world tour, and we will continue to bring more people for her program as well.
Well, thank you very much. As you all can hear from that, that's a significant number of arrivals into St. Louis, from refugees to walk-ins to the attraction programs that we have, the Latino Outreach Initiative and the Afghan Support Program. So St. Louis is on the move, so to speak, especially as we talk about this, looking at, St. Louis has jumped from being the 21st biggest metropolitan city to the 23rd position. If we look back many years, St. Louis used to be in 15th or 16th position. Also, whilst we were in Dallas, I was looking at the numbers. Dallas, for example, has 23% of its population is foreign-born. And if we compare that to St. Louis's 7%, which is foreign-born, we really have ways to go to meet that natural average, which is somewhere between 14 and 15% of foreign-born population in the bigger metropolitan cities. So there's a lot of opportunity here, but the more people come, the more challenges it brings for us. And we are seeing some challenges, and there is urgent need for us to raise resources to support our new arrivals. So I'm going to call on Blake Hamilton, who is the Vice President here for Talent Development and Advocacy at the International Institute, to just talk about the challenges that we're seeing and how the TAO Fund can be a solution to support our work.
Thank you, Ray. The TAO Fund is the fund that we have here internally, which helps us fill the gaps that new arrivals see when their funding from the federal government runs out or is in any way truncated. This is the ability for us to continue to support housing and living expenses functionally for folks until they can get to the point where they can make ends meet. And this has been a fund that's been established for a long time, named after William K.Y. Tao, or Bill Tao, who himself was an immigrant here, and he and his family have been devoted to service through the International Institute for multiple generations. And the TAO Fund is how that legacy lives on in support of new arrivals. The TAO Fund is really important to us right now for a couple of reasons. As I mentioned, this is really meant to support and supplement beyond the refugee resettlement period any gaps that might exist prior to other forms of support being able to take root. And so some of the challenges that are making this fund even more important to us at this time are the fact that there has been really boutique funding by the federal government for specific groups. There's Ukrainian funds, there are Afghan funds that allow us to have the same sort of direct assistance support as a last line for members of those groups. But the TAO Fund actually ensures that we can provide that access equitably, regardless of anybody's country of origin. The TAO Fund ensures that we can provide that support as it isn't restricted to any one or two or even a handful of countries. It is really just maximally for new arrivals. Another challenge that's really constricting the use of those new arrival funds is the limit on matching grant slots. Matching grant is a program here at the Institute. It's a federal program that we administer that provides 6 months of support beyond the resettlement period, and it really rewards people who find early employment. But it is a method that many use for making those ends meet when they before they gain a job, before they get that first paycheck. It is those are funds they're able to use to bridge to pay rent and utilities. But there's been a delay in the issuance of these slots, and we have been without matching grant slots now since the last week in March, which means that we've had almost a month of new arrivals who have not had this fund available to them to access. And that, of course, that presents challenges, as I described. Another reason for the importance of the TAO Fund at this time is just general increased cost of living, including rent. Unfortunately, the funds that our clients receive through the resettlement program are established by the federal government a long time ago, and are not pliable, or they don't increase with increasing costs or living expenses or inflation. And we have seen a rapid rise in rent over the course of the last several months. That means that the amount of money that new arrivals are receiving to cover rent and utility expenses is not covering those expenses over the course of that 90-day period. More and more folks are getting their resettlement accounts closed prior to that 3-month period. And these are just the situations where the TAO Fund was designed to bridge that sort of gap. Another need, sort of compounding the call here, is delays in access to food assistance programs. You might have seen in Missouri Independent and other news sources that Missouri is amongst the worst states in the country in terms of efficiently getting people connected to benefits. At present, our clients are seeing around a 2-month delay in accessing food stamps, which is puts our clients at severe risk. And it is something that we are also needing to dip into the resettlement funds in order to be able to supplement, again, making less money available for rent and utilities. So these are all sort of a perfect storm of challenges that we're seeing that are unique to the moment, that are compounding and increasing our reliance on the TAO Fund to really support refugees in that first period after arrival. So you can help us. You can help us spread the word about the Tau Fund and what it supports and how it is utilized here at the Institute. We've included a hyperlink to our donation page. And if you are making a donation through the website, please be sure to select Tau Fund from that drop-down menu that is at the bottom of the page. We'd really appreciate your assistance in promoting this opportunity widely through the community. And if any organization would like to learn more about the Tau Fund, we'd be happy to talk about this. This is really an urgent issue. And as Ray was saying, you know, we saw a community really step up in the time of Afghan arrivals. And that was a very visible, acute need. And this is less visible, right? We're not seeing in the national news as much discussion of the arrivals here. So, you know, we are here sounding the alarm, saying we need that same sort of community engagement to provide the same sort of welcoming that we provided those refugees to these new sets that are arriving now. So thank you very much for your support.
Thank you very much, Blake, for that update on that urgent call for help with the Tau funds, so we can close some of the gaps that we're experiencing. But it's also an urgent, you know, with an increase in arrivals, there's a continuous need for housing. We would always plug this in. So we have our housing coordinator and a resource coordinator, their contact information, especially those large units, the 4 or 5 bedroom, 3, 4, 5 bedroom units are very limited in supply, and with large families, that there's acute need for that. Whilst we want housing to be ideally located in the South City area, we are open to exploring opportunities everywhere that they present themselves. So if you have any leads, please feel free. Carlos, I saw you.
Yeah, and so we are actually trying to hire 2 people for our Latino Outreach and Afghan program. One person will be an intake coordinator, so the one that's going to help them decide what they're eligible for. And we are actually looking to hire someone to help with housing, and we're going to pivot Alexia over to another position. But we have a couple of positions that are available. If you know of anybody, ideally they will either speak Spanish or Pashto or Dari, and it just depends on the position. But if anybody knows of anybody, please let us know. Obviously, we've posted the jobs, and we will continue to recruit people for that.
Thank you very much for that, Carlos. At the beginning of the meeting, I did speak about the need for your feedback, and Casey here will be handling this feedback. Casey, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I can spend a couple of minutes. Thank you, Ari. Thank you all for being here. You don't usually see me, but I see all of you as I'm behind the scenes running these slides. And we really want to make sure that these monthly updates are useful for you, that they're providing information that you're interested in receiving, and really help you engage in the ways that you want to engage. So we're opening up a survey. We'd really love to get your feedback on the ways that you engage with these community update calls. We know that they're in the middle of the workday, and we really appreciate people joining in person, but they're also available in the slide decks that we send out afterwards, as well as recordings on our YouTube channel. So we want to track how people are accessing this information, what types of information you find most useful, as well as what information are we not including that we could include for you that would be really helpful. So this is just a quick, I think it's 5 questions, possibly 6 questions. It should take you probably less than 5 minutes unless you really write us a book in those long answer questions. But we'd really love to hear your feedback. We take it very seriously, and we want to make this a valuable experience for you that's also enjoyable. So I will send out this link for you in the email that goes out after this call this afternoon. The link is also hyperlinked in the slide deck, and you can take a picture of that QR code on your screen right now if you'd like to access it that way. And we really look forward to hearing your thoughts. So thank you in advance, and thank you for joining us.
Great. Thank you very much, Casey, for doing this. At this point, we would pivot from, I would even pause here to see whether there are any questions with reference to the big arrivals that we're seeing. Any questions, concerns from the audience? I will scroll down to see if there are any questions. But seeing none, please feel free to ask questions with reference to the new arrivals, and any way that as community stakeholders you can be involved in supporting this new arrivals in any way. We obviously at the end we're going to talk about some volunteer opportunities, but I would like to pivot now to the Festival of Nations.
All right, just to interject, there was one question from Madeline in the chat here about plans to publicize the significant number of arrivals.
Oh yes, Madeline, I'm on that now. I'm doing that at every opportunity where we are actually, this is one of those opportunities, but we're trying as much as possible. There will be a lot of social media posts and engagements that are going to be coming with reference to this. There's absolute need for us to to try to get as many people to hear this and know what's happening. Yeah, Carlos.
Yeah, we're also working on a strategy to get some of our success stories out there. And I know somebody had recently posted something to say that we're moving very slow or something like that. And we want you guys to know on this committee that we're moving very intentionally, because we know that there are some people that may be against our initiative. We are going to move very intentionally to ensure that we don't add to the homeless problem that we have here in St. Louis. So we're only moving if we have 10 people, we will move in here when we have housing for 10 people. And so we're trying to be really responsible about that. And I think now that the census has told us that we are now the 23rd largest metro area, I think that that information, coupled with our program and some of the success we had, will hopefully spin this in a positive light. But we have to be very intentional about what we're doing to ensure that anything we do does not give fuel to anyone's negative fire.
Thanks a lot, Carlos. That's a good point. So at this point, we're going to move on to the Festival of Nations, and I'm going to invite the director of the festival, or director of events and the Festival of Nations here at the Institute, Adina O'Neill.
Hey friends, thanks for having me. We just have some exciting updates. I'm going to start with community partners. So we are reaching out to organizations and artists in St. Louis to talk about building partnerships with them, yes, for the festival, but also for wraparound events at the International Institute. So currently, committed partners, we have Four Hands Brewing, and so they are doing a can wrap for us, and proceeds from those sales will go back to the International Institute and Cransford Art Foundation. And Cransford will be sponsoring a stage and artists at the festival this year. Artists that we are partnering with are Brock Fields, and he's a local St. Louis artist, and he is designing a poster for us as well as our can wrap collaboration with Four Hands. And we're excited to announce that Brandon Vaughn, a local fashion designer from St. Louis, will be producing a fashion show this year at the event. A summer series are wraparound events that take place for Festival Nation. Excuse me, I've lost my voice. And so our partners for the summer series are Four Hands, so they'll be hosting 4 events this summer for us, as well as the Dark Room and Sophie's Artist Lounge. So we're going to announce that in May, those dates, and invite the community out to those events. And then just some exciting news, our applications launched, and here are the numbers of applications in about a week and a half that we've received. So visual artists and entertainers, we've had 26 applicants, food vendors 33, and retail 24. So we are moving along. I've lost my voice.
Yes, Adina, that's that's exciting. Great, exciting updates. We're just knowing that that was launched just a week and a half ago, and the response, it's great. Where our goal this year is to shatter the records we had last year, and bringing in really some exciting innovation and new partners to the table as we move forward. Applications are now open on the website, so people can get involved, for vendors, for artists, for retail sales, now all open on the website. I'm giving Adina some time there to catch her breath, but everything is all exciting times. Adina,
Thank you.
anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. We're moving right along. So planning is going really well. We're getting really positive feedback from the community, and we're excited. Central Nations will have a tent at Street for Refugees this weekend, where we will have some merch for sale and start selling VIP tickets. So we're excited to jump in and get this kicked off.
Great. Thank you very much. I hope everybody should mark their calendars for August 24th and 25th for another exciting festival experience here in St. Louis. We will now go on April 21st. We're going to have our Race for Refugees. That is being led here at the International Institute by Samson Hillary. Samson, if you want to talk a little bit about the Race for Refugees, please come on.
Yes, thank you, Ari. Hi, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity to talk about the race this weekend. It's going to be on Sunday, April the 21st at 9 a.m. The Race for Refugee was started by a longtime supporter of the International Institute, Heather Huey. It was started in 2017 as a response to the federal travel ban on mostly Muslim countries. Heather really took that on and wanted to turn something that could be viewed as negative into a positive thing. And she used running as a way to rally the community and activate the community to really show up for refugees and immigrants, and to create an environment that we can support all refugee and immigrant arrivals in St. Louis. So all throughout these years, we've been having the race, and this year it's going to be the 6th race. So I invite all of you guys, all of your friends, families, to come out this weekend. Registration is still open. You have the option to run a 5K, run a mile, or walk a mile. But it's a really great opportunity for us to engage with the community and get them excited about the good things and the great things that our refugees and immigrants are bringing into this community. And just like my colleagues have been saying today, also an opportunity for us to engage with them to see ways that they can support us and the refugees, especially as we're receiving hundreds of them coming in each month. We have a lot of needs for in-kind donations. So that's an opportunity for us to get the community involved in ways that so they can support us. Yeah. There's opportunities to register for the race. You can just use the QR code, and opportunities to volunteer. You can contact me. My email is on the screen, and I look forward to having all of you guys out there at the race. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Samson, for you and the team for working hard to put this together. This would be the first time that the International Institute is actually organizing the race. It's always been done by Heather Huey and community partners, but this time around we are leading that. And whilst the race for refugees is really a lot more to create awareness, there's never been a time when that awareness is needed than now, where we're seeing the highest number of refugee arrivals into the community and an increase in need. So the more people show up, the more we can move this from just creating awareness to actually supporting our new arrivals. And the proceeds from this can go into our TAO funds to continue to support these new arrivals. That's another reason why everyone, family, friends, should come out to register. Should register and come out to support the refugees that we're bringing into the community. So we're looking forward to seeing you all on Sunday, April 21. I will be running. I hope many of you will join us to walk and run as well. We'll go on to other items on the agenda. Quickly, let's cover the community bazaar, and I think I'll turn this over to our Director of Economic Development, Carlos Suarez.
Well, thanks, Ari, and great to see everyone this afternoon. So yeah, we have our community bazaar that takes place every other Friday here at the International Institute as a great way to support some of the clients that we have coming through, and as well as some of the foreign-born entrepreneurs and businesses. And this Friday, we'll be featuring Samba Bomb, selling Brazilian cuisine for lunch. So it'd be a great festive time. But also this Friday, we are going to be launching our first of a 6-week series called our Economic Empowerment Series on financial literacy, and to start off with personal banking. So that'll be a 1-hour session starting at 12:30 alongside our community bazaar in a classroom. So it's open to not only clients that are here through the International Institute, but our staff and our team and the general community. So this Friday, we'll be hosting the discussion on personal banking topics provided by Midwest Bank Center. And so, yeah, it'll be a great addition to the community bazaar, and also below include future dates that are coming up. So the next one on May 3rd, we'll actually be looking to take our bazaar back to the front lawn here at the International Institute. And we'll be welcoming the St. Louis Metro Market, the mobile grocery store for fresh produce that'll be back here on site for the season. So starting May 3rd, we'll be back outside on the front lawn and featuring and include the St. Louis Metro Market so that the community can access great, nutritious and fresh produce, as well as some culturally sensitive items or cultural items such as halal meat. So thanks, Ari.
Thank you very much, Carlos. I'm looking forward to the Brazilian cuisine next Friday. For Welcome Call, which is the private sponsorship initiative that we have been promoting, I'm going to invite Maxwell Kelly to talk about that.
Yes, hi. Hello, Ari. Thank you. And thank you everyone for joining us. If you're not familiar with the Welcome Corps, I highly encourage anyone to jump on their website and check it out. I'm going to briefly talk about some of the features of the program, and then I'd like to dive into our vision moving forward with it. So the Welcome Corps was created, it's somewhat in its infancy. It started last January. It's a United States government program. And the idea behind it is to streamline the process by which Americans might be, I'm sorry, that's the not right term to use, because it is open to anyone who has permanent residency or naturalization. But it's a means for folks to sponsor refugees to come to the area. So one of the biggest benefits, the way I see it, is really gives the community an opportunity to step up beyond just donating time or donating money, because it really steps up to a new level where you're making a commitment to, and often it can run the gamut of all the things that we might offer here, such as helping the refugees find access to schooling, healthcare services, education services. There are a number of those things that we are still able to provide, but it does take a lot of the weight off our shoulders, as well as putting it back into the community and an awareness of the issues that we're facing around the world. So there are two types of sponsorships. One is a matched, and this is where a refugee is randomly placed with sponsors in the area. And the other is known as a named, and that's where folks will name a sponsor, a specific refugee that they'd like to sponsor. Generally, moving forward, what we're really looking to do is to get word out and increase the number of folks that are coming in for the matched. So this would be, and it can be any group, maybe a church group, it could be a team that gets together for intramural sports. Any sort of social group or educational group is able to form a sponsorship group. The minimum has to be 5 people and the maximum of 10 people. So yeah, I'm holding weekly open sessions. Recently, it has been mostly to help clients with specifics in getting their application in, but it is open up to anyone who generally would like some information about the Welcome Corps. We do have one this afternoon. I'm generally scheduling them for Wednesday afternoons, but again, my time is flexible if any folks want to meet and talk about the Welcome Corps.
Thank you very much. We just did St. Louis May just published an article with reference to Welcome Corps. We're really encouraging people in the community who want to step up and sponsor refugees to do so. Many of these refugees have spent many years in refugee camps waiting for an opportunity to find refuge and hope. By stepping up, you will not be alone, right? The International Institute will work alongside you and your family, or you and your group, as you go through this exciting and gratifying process of welcoming refugees into this community. They need refuge. We have a need for people to come into our community. So this is one way in which we can, it's a win-win, supporting them so they can find an opportunity to live the lives that they've always dreamed of here in a place that's peaceful. Just one item that's not on the agenda. We have our we will actually, it's on the agenda, but I'm going to turn this to Ann Foster to talk a little bit about our trafficking in persons program and an upcoming event.
Thank you. So our anti-trafficking in persons program here at the International Institute is very excited to host a Holes movie screening. Holes as in the Disney movie from from 2006, in case you guys are familiar or have kids who's watched it yourselves, for Crime Victims' Rights Week next week. So for Thursday, April 25th at 5 p.m. to 7:45, we're going to be hosting a screening of the movie Holes in the Hall of Nations at the International Institute. And immediately following the film, we'll be hosting a human trafficking expert panel. Most of you guys might not know this. Holes is actually about human trafficking, or a lot of the themes that are discussed and the stories discussed from cast and crew, and also just like the experience that's depicted by the main characters, is very much a trafficking situation, specifically a labor trafficking situation of minors. And in response to a variety of other media that has been posted about human trafficking over the last few years, Freedom Network, which is the nation's largest coalition of anti-trafficking professionals, service providers, and survivor leaders, came together to create a survivor-vetted film list of media and films that appropriately discuss themes about trafficking and trafficking experiences. Holes, again, the Disney movie, is one of the ones on the list. It's a great movie if any of you haven't seen it, and we're very excited to host it, as well as our expert panel. We're excited to host Kevin Coleman Cohen, who is a program director at Youth in Need, which is a local youth homeless shelter here in St. Louis, specifically in St. Charles County. Katie Rhodes, who is the executive director and president of Healing Action, which is another anti-trafficking service provider here in St. Louis that works with victims of sex trafficking and sexual exploitation. And then Special Agent Dan Root from St. Louis FBI, who actively investigates human trafficking and human trafficking incidents throughout the state of Missouri. So we're very excited to show the film and learn from the speakers. You're welcome to ask us any questions, both in the chat now, or you can contact my coworker, Maddie, who is helping put on the event and host it. And we're happy to share your questions or answer any kind of questions that you guys might have. Please let me know if you need anything. I'll be in the chat. So thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Great. Thank you very much, Anna, for that. At this point, we have our community updates and shout outs. I'll turn this over to our Director of Community Engagement here at the Institute, Kelly Moore.
Well, welcome and hello, everyone. Such a beautiful day. I have my windows open. The only downside is the pollen on my computer. Let's not tell IT that I have that open.
Keep the windows closed.
So we have so much to be thankful for and appreciate this past month, and we appreciate you all for being wonderful community members and telling the world about the International Institute of St. Louis. The first one up is we had a wonderful campaign with the Light the World giving machines. This effort was brought to us by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You'll see there that lovely picture, that check of over $15,000 in order to purchase supplies. So we have 4 necessary supplies that we're able to purchase with that money. And you will see microwaves and space heaters are fairly expensive items. So we're grateful for that. It was a fun event. Thank you for all the work that the community has done. And we are hopeful that they might be back next year during the holiday season to do the same thing. So thank you, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. DeSmet High School, for the last year, since September, we've welcomed 4 DeSmet students. I wanted to highlight them a little bit this time around. You've seen their name on the community shout out before. Having high school students volunteer can be sometimes a difficult task, but we encourage them to go outside of their shells. We had them flyering for Race for Refugees. We had them flyering for our Afghan Community Center. And they are champions at helping us with building and grounds beautification, heavy lifters. So thank you so much to DeSmet High School and that partnership we've had for over 5 years. The College School we've had a long-standing partnership with them. And this time around, we have a group of 3rd graders talking about ecology, and they were able to wrap that into immigrants and the community. And they are making financial donations as a class to our institution. So I am so grateful for them. And this shows us that anybody, big or small, can give us donations. So thank you, the College School. As we mentioned, so many ways to help, with Blake giving us the introduction to the Tau Fund, you joining the Race for Refugees this coming weekend, or if you love going to Target like I do, you can go shopping for some much needed supplies. As our Tau funds are also limited right now, so is our donation room. So we really still need supplies in order to serve the new arrivals. So also in Blake's informative slide, it's unfortunate that many new arrivals have to wait a long time for the food stamp cards. So grocery store gift cards are always going to be helpful. Next slide, please. As with, if you don't want to give us your money, please give us your time. So we are always looking for volunteers. These are our steadfast opportunities that are looking for help. But grocery store shopping, mock interviews, and if you'd like to host a fundraiser, we'd be happy to talk to you. Here are the contacts for all of those necessary things. But again, thank you so much for all of the efforts you do, all of the talking that you do about us and our organization. and all of the support that you give us. We're going to end this with one more slide. Let's all join in the park this Sunday, and let's hope that the weather remains beautiful and that we can be together in support of each other and in support of our work. So I hope to see you. My whole entire family is running. So if you want to laugh at me trying to cross the finish line, I'd be more than happy for you to do that. Please come out and see us on Sunday. Thank you again for all of your support.
Thank you very much, Kelly. I'll be at the finish line waiting to see when and if you get there.
Yeah, you probably will be waiting for me.
Well, with that, we have about 5 minutes left on our time, and I'm open to any questions if there are any. But I hope that all of the information that we've shared, and it was a lot of information, is truly valuable and gives you an insight as to what we are dealing with, some of the opportunities, but as well the challenges that we have. We continue to be grateful for your support to our work, and we're going to be the Oliver Twist of the world, asking for a little bit more of your support and involvement and engagement with our activities. Let's do this for St. Louis. Let's do this for the world of St. Louis. Yes, David.
I just wanted to throw out two more asks because I know we've asked for a lot. First, wanted to say that we are still looking for sponsors for Festival of Nations. We are being very thoughtful in who we're approaching for sponsorships, but if you have suggestions, anyone on this call, please let Ari or I know. We'd love to have additional sponsors. The Festival of Nations has usually been an event that has been budgeted to break even, but we hope that with some great sponsor support, we could actually generate some revenue, which would go to new arrival support. Also, there was a question earlier about the message, the need for our increased new arrivals. We will be having a reflection on impact breakfast on Wednesday, May 22nd, which we will tell a little bit more about the need and provide some more background on that. So just two opportunities for you. If you have sponsorship ideas, let us know, and please join us on May 22nd. You all should have received the invitation, but we'll be sending out a reminder around May 1.
Thank you, David, for plugging those to the opportunities in. At this point, seeing no other questions, I want to thank everybody for being here. I'll give you 2 minutes of your time back, but really, really appreciate your continuous presence and engagement with the Institute and our work. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll be back at it next month.